Today we will show you how to change the filters on your reverse osmosis systems, which needs done every 6 to 12 months with most systems. We'll start by disconnecting the system. First, we will shut off the tank ball valve so that water doesn't spray out when we disconnect the lines. Next, we will shut off the water supply to the RO system. This valve could be located on the system itself, on the supply line, or at the valve that was installed on your main feed water line under your sink. Now go ahead and open your RO faucet to relieve the water pressure in your lines, and grab a towel as you'll have some water leaks during the process. Now pull the system out so that we have access to all the tubing. We are going to disconnect the main tubing so we can place the RO system in the sink to work on it. This system here has a permeate pump installed on it, so we have access to the drain line there, which is yellow on our system. Without the pump, you can disconnect the drain line from the drain saddle affixed to your sink drain. Now go ahead and disconnect the feed water line, the product line, and the tank line. Now we will take the system and place it in the sink. Now that we have the system in the sink, we'll remove the filter housings, which will be full of water. Place the filter housing wrench on the housing and turn it counterclockwise to open. Sometimes the housings can be very tight and may take quite a bit of force to open. Now lay the RO system on its back with the housing over the sink and finish removing the housing by hand. When the housing opens, the water will come out and the filter should slide out with it. This is the sediment filter, and when new it is white, but when used it can be red, orange, brown, or even yellow. It's a dense foam-like material and can be installed with either end up. We open the next filter housing the same way, turning counterclockwise until loosened, then opening by hand, being cautious of the water that spills out. This is the GAC filter, which has a loose carbon media in it. These can vary in appearance, as sometimes there may be a carbon block filter in the second housing, which we will see when we remove the third housing. When you reinstall the filter, make sure the seal is at the top of the filter so it seals against the cap. If you have a carbon block filter here, there should be two seals, one on each end, and it can be installed with either end up. Finally, remove the third filter housing the same way as before. Be careful as you remove this housing, making sure to support the top portion of the RO system so that it does not fall. This final filter will typically be a carbon block filter. When new, it's white with a mesh screen around it. When used, it will be black, as you see here. This filter has a seal on each end, as I mentioned, therefore it can be installed on the RO system with the ear end up. Finally, we will make sure that the O-rings are still in the filter housings are in good condition. You can lubricate them with silicone lubricant or vegetable oil, but do not use petroleum-based lubricants as it can degrade the O-rings. Now we'll replace the filter cartridges in the corresponding housing. Now we will change the post filter or filters on the RO system. The filters are clipped to the top of the system and come after the membrane. They could include carbon filters, pH and calcite filters, alkaline filters, DI filters, or UV filters. On our systems, these filters all use quick connect fittings, which consist of an O-ring that the tubing seals inside of, and a collet ring with metal teeth to hold it in place. To remove the tubing, push the collet ring down against the filter and pull out the tubing. Repeat the same thing for each filter. After the tubing is disconnected, remove the filters by pulling out of the clips. The clips may come off with the filter but can be easily reinstalled like so. There will still be water in the filters, so be careful holding it horizontally to prevent spilling the water out. Now we'll get the replacement filter, which should look very similar and be the same size. We'll pop it back in place, pushing it firmly into the clip. Most filters have an arrow indicating the water flow direction. If you have more than one post filter, water will flow towards the next filter in line, going through them all. With the filter connected again, we will reconnect the line coming from the membrane or the tank by pushing it firmly into the fitting. Now we're ready to reconnect the RO system. Now we can hook the system back up the same way we disconnected it. On our color-coded systems, the red tubing connects to the feed water, the yellow tubing connects to the drain line, or on this system the permeate pump, the blue line connects to the final stage of the RO system, and the clear line connects to the T fitting that goes into the first post filter on your system. Now we'll place the RO system back underneath the sink, open the tank ball valve, turn on the feed water valve, and your system will begin making water again. Thanks for watching.